John Fitzgerald McGill, you are up front.
Your presence, Lord.
Yeah.
I tasted and seen of the sweetest of loves. My heart becomes free and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Come fill this place and feel the atmosphere. Your glory, Lord, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, your presence, Lord. There's nothing worth more to ever come close. Nothing can compare. You're a living hope. Your presence, Lord. I've tasted and seen of the sweetest of love. My heart becomes one, and my shame is undone. Your presence, Lord. Holy Spirit, you are welcome here. Flood this place and fill the atmosphere. Your glory, God, is what our hearts long for. To be overcome by your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord. Your presence, Lord.
Good evening. This is Up Front. My name is Tekla Johnson. Welcome. We are very excited to have yet another guest, artist extraordinaire here on Channel 21's Up Front show. So thank you so much, John Fitzgerald McGill, for joining us.
It's my honor. Glad to be here.
Very
Yes.
excited to have you.
Thank you.
Can you talk to us a bit about your upbringing and your interest in music? How did that develop for you as a young person? Were your parents musicians, or how did you come into this art form and come to love it?
I believe it started with my grandmother, who died in 1962, the year I was born, as my mom's mother. My dad didn't play instrument at all, but my dad was very strong in the Lord. He could really see things and hear from the Lord, so he put a guitar in my hand at 2 years old. And from that place, from the guitar, he had me in church the entire time. So my upbringing was going to church with that toy guitar, and the Lord started speaking. So at the age of 5 and 6, I could play a couple songs and sing. So my ministry actually started then.
I'm laughing because I've heard that before. A number of musicians, very, very fine musicians, say that they had something that happened in very early childhood, or
Yes.
someone spotted them and saw something in them.
I'm very, very rooted, and then my father knew it. He just knew that that's my son. I know he's gonna play. So it actually happened. So
In guitar, in the church.
yeah,
That's where you first started.
absolutely. That's my roots are.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. So then you grew into the gospel tradition
Yes.
within the church.
I did. I grew up at United Methodist and AME Zion at the same time. So I got a mixture of all worlds, but my father was very cultural. He grew up in hard times, but he was never prejudiced per se. He loved everybody, so he knew how to handle the mixture of racism, and he could handle it very well. So he raised me how to be very cultural at a young age, how to love people. So that was a big plus. I was raised in a house that Dad believed in training a child up in the way it should go, if he departs, he shall return. So of course I have that good story of going astray.
Right, of course,
But I've returned, so that's a good thing. So it's been a great journey, but it's been a tough journey at the same time. It's been great, yes.
Well, you touched on something that's very interesting to me, but I hope that we can go down that path in greater depth another time. Maybe you'll come back for another interview. But I do want to talk to you at some point more about that, about how the spirituality and the music started to blend for you, because it sounds like it did, and there was a period where you went away from it. Now, when you went away from the church, I'm guessing here, did you go away from music, or did you stick with music?
I stayed in the church the whole time, but I in high school, my friends started taking me to see concerts, ZZ Top, Styx, Ted Nugent, all the 70s, this is in the 70s, the rockers, so Eddie Van Halen, so I started getting the rock influence. That's where I started hearing the different genres and styles, which is what developed me to what I have today, because I know that some of that 70s and 80s guitar would literally be used in contemporary Christian music.
Absolutely.
So it all transcends, and during that whole course in time, the Lord was training and developed me to minister to all people. So it doesn't matter if it's Southern gospel, whether it's blues or jazz. I have a taste of all things.
Appalachian, rock.
Yes. So that's what happens. So it gives me opportunities that if I go somewhere and discern, I can. If they may not want rock, so we'll do some James Taylor style.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the.
Now, how did your father respond when you came back to the church with that other influence there?
My dad was very strong in doing what's right. He never disciplined me on learning other things, but he said he said you got to keep God first. He instilled that in me, and I tell people this, that even though you go astray, I heard his voice the whole time I was doing wrong, and actually I would be looking over my shoulder to see if his car was showing up. That's how.
Now, when you're talking about doing wrong, you're not talking about sampling musical styles.
No,
I know that. I know you're talking
all.
about things about the world, right?
Yes,
absolutely.
But I was still rooted.
Right.
But I had to find out for myself, even though his dying words were said, you're going to find out in life that everything your dad tells you, your father tells you, is right and is true because it comes from the Lord. I never forgot it.
Well, tell me a bit more about, you've dipped into genres a bit. You've talked about rock.
Yes.
Are there other genres besides rock and gospel that you find
love jazz, love contemporary, love fusion. I love country.
Really?
Of all things. And my roots are quartet gospel.
Right.
Yeah, so all those things just seem to blend and go together. And that's why I love being at the experience, because you can blend anything.
I'm thinking about Aaron Neville as other people have done country and brought it into jazz and brought it into. Oh, great. Oh, so
it's a gift of the Lord to be able to blend them. Some people can't do but one thing.
Absolutely.
But the Lord gave us many gifts, and I'm thankful for that gift.
Can you talk about a bit bands you've played with, or that you've put together, or individuals that you've played with that you really particularly enjoy playing with, whether you might have toured or whether you might have been in different churches? What can you talk about your experience with other musicians a little bit?
It's very diverse. Of course, coming up, I started with a band in high school. It was called Fitzgerald and the Rumble Seats. So we did 50s.
I'm not laughing. That's good.
We did all that stuff.
Right.
And then
this is around South Carolina.
This was South Carolina.
Okay.
Then I went to college.
Clover,
South Carolina.
Okay.
Yes. Then I went to college, and I got introduced to playing cameo and brass construction, the band. So I joined the band. I got hurt playing college football. I had a scholarship.
Where is this at?
Winston-Salem State University.
Oh my gosh.
Yes,
so
yes.
you played in a band.
Yes. So, but I was a football player that got hurt. I had 2 shoulder operations. So they ended my so-called wannabe football career. So I left college, which was against my parents' wishes. I should have finished, but I didn't. But I went on the road then playing cover tunes. And I went from cover tunes.
Who'd you go with? I'm just
I went
curious.
with the band. The first band was called the Galaxy Band. That's the first name. Then the next.
Wait a minute. Have I heard of that?
No, we were very local in Winston-Salem. We just traveled down the East Coast doing all the coverage and everything. Matter of fact, we help out the royalties for the artists at that time because we play their songs.
Did you ever do a recording at the studio, Reflection Sound Studio?
We did do one recording.
So I have a memory for stuff. Oh, that's interesting.
Well, sure, we did one.
Okay.
I just got the friend of mine sent me the record we did. It was funny.
Oh, we don't have to talk. That's fantastic. What do you remember what the cut was at all?
Oh gosh, I got it on my email. I have to look at it, but I do remember it. Something About You, Baby. That's what it was.
We want to hear that when you come back next time on the show, if not.
That was really my first real demo, to be honest.
Now let me ask you a question. Do you write?
Yes, I do. I do write songs. Yes.
Okay. So did you write that one?
I did not write that one. That was my first time ever doing. I was singing. Someone else wrote the song, so I just did what they asked me to do.
Okay.
And it was very monotone. It's the same thing to the whole record. So I would sing it differently now, but that's what experience is. You learn as you go down your journey to switch things up. But I'm still happy about that record because it was my first time doing it.
Oh, so
that's great.
exciting.
So I played guitar and I had a guitar solo on it, so it was great.
Oh, you did?
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
I hope we can get a hold of that.
Absolutely. I got it. It's on my phone. I can shoot it to you.